So I picked up your kids
Yeah.
and made you a little coffee with a little pumpkin spice creamer. Are those your love languages? Is acts of service?
It's words of affirmation and quality time.
Shoot, I'm here. Okay, and you look great.
Thank you.
Okay, so wow, I totally missed it. Actually, what happened is we went into Target to get diapers,
Okay.
and I saw these mugs. Is that not the cutest thing? But it's
It's
Christmas.
very cute.
So then I got pumpkin spice creamer to go in it because it's like
Logically.
we kind of have our feet in two worlds right now, right? We've been trying to get ahead on Christmas planning, but it is still fall.
Yeah.
This color isn't it awesome?
Very much fall.
I am sweating. This thing is so hot. But anyway, so let's just catch up. We'll talk a little bit about some of the Christmas planning that we've been doing and tools that we have. I may have hired a personal trainer. Lots of stuff going
Big
on.
stuff.
Okay, I haven't even taken a sip yet.
Oh,
Is
it's
it
very good.
fall in a cup? It's fall in a Christmas cup. So we actually have been doing Christmas planning all week.
Yeah.
We just finished up our 1 week workshop and it is still available. You can get all of the awesome information. This all started last year. I had that like anxious feeling like settling in on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Like it was actually in November when I got started. And so I was like, let's just throw together a little Christmas planner.
Yeah.
And we all can kind of get our arms around everything that we have to do.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just kind of been like snowballing, and
I would
we've been
say
adding pages.
It was my idea though to do the 5 days to an organized Christmas workshop.
Absolutely your idea.
Okay.
No, I was just going back in time to where this all began.
I'm joking.
It was just like a little. I know, because I always need to take credit for things. It was just like this little thing last year, like let's just put together a little planner. So now I think it's up to 40 pages.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome tools.
Yeah.
Print the pages that are helpful to you.
Right.
Like you don't need to have them all. So we do have that free download available to you. We also did just wrap up a 1 week planning workshop. If you were like, hey, no, it is fall. I was not ready for that. I don't have space to think about that yet. It's all available and ready when you are. Okay, but we had a blast.
Yeah.
So many good ideas shared in there. We covered gifts and budgeting, difficult people around the holidays, and all the things.
Yeah, I think, we spent about an hour together, and the first half was like very structured. We had it all planned out exactly what we were going to cover. And then the second half was pretty much all question and answers.
Yeah.
And there were such good questions that came up of, I don't know, just like, why don't people get it? Like,
Yeah, like I'm asking them not to give my kids so much stuff, but they
Yeah.
still do. What do I do?
Yeah.
Or how could my family procrastinates a lot. How
Yeah.
can I get ahead? So I want to plan right now, but they're not really into it. So we had some like tactful ways that you can approach that. We had
I know. Yeah, or like my spouse and I have competing traditions, like who wins? That was a good one too.
that was a really good one. So
Anyways, we're not going to tell you the answers, but
No.
you can go fish for them in the replays.
But it felt good. I think
Yeah.
I think we don't realize how much expectations, how many expectations, all the expectations around Christmas
Yeah.
and the pressure. Maybe we do, and mostly it kind of all comes down to this pressure, especially for the moms and the women in the household, to make it all happen.
Yes.
And to make it magical.
Yep.
And so we kind of just distilled it all down. It's going to be awesome. We're going to keep doing lots of stuff around here too.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Christmas devotionals coming up. This will not be the last time you see these mugs. I can guarantee it. And
Do I need to keep like holding it up and I like?
No, I'm getting nothing for this. Like no, I don't like a Chip and Joanna. Like
They don't know you're doing this?
You guys are great, but yeah, I paid for it. Don paid for the coffee in it. Yeah, that's all good. And if you can believe, Cora, our newest little addition to the family, is already 3 months old. What? Don't other people's kids grow up so much faster?
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
3 months is such a fun age, I think, because they start to just become a little more predictable, a little more settled in. They kind of hang out and play with us a little bit more, and she's a joy.
Yeah.
I hear a lot that third baby is the easiest baby. I just can't help but think third time parents are just easier parents. Like we
Yes,
just know,
you just know.
we relax a little more. We just kind of
Yep.
let things go a little more.
They can fuss for a minute, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah. So this has been coming right along with everybody. And along with that, we actually have a big family wedding happening next weekend. And so we have more family in town from India. We like these choreographed dances are kind of a tradition at our Indian wedding receptions. So the family has been getting together and practicing choreographed dances.
Wow.
And some of our aunties are here from India, and so they have been making amazing Indian food. Now, like I became, what's the word? Serviceable as an Indian cook.
Okay.
Is that the right word?
I don't know.
This is the only thing with not getting quite as much sleep with a new baby. My word
words are
selection,
just right there.
it's like right there. So what would be a better word than like I became
Adequate?
like just adequate. Thank
Okay.
you. Good one. Okay. I'm just gonna point to you whenever I can't think of a word. Okay. And so I became adequate as an Indian cook. However, when Princeton's aunt comes home and she knows really how to do this and she's been doing it for 100 years, it is amazing.
Yeah.
So we've been eating really good food, having lots of family, very little structure, people coming and going, and the big celebration will be next weekend. And so we're really getting excited for that. So also with life kind of like settling in a little bit, I decided that it was time to get back on top of like my health and fitness. Okay. So was it last year I joined the gym?
Yeah.
And Dawn was like, really, you're joining a gym? It actually, I went. It went well.
You were
I
good.
did good.
Yeah.
I think it was only like 3 months, and then I just
I want to quit the gym.
it was a Friends episode. I just realized that the structure of it, the timing of the classes, the length of the classes just wasn't fitting in the schedule like I thought it would.
Okay.
And so I just made a very level decision
Yeah.
that the season was over for the gym. And yeah.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah, so it was all part of the plan. Like,
Right, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those people who join the gym and don't go and pay for it and then quit. Like I did go most days. However, actually, I am kind of excited about this. So
Okay.
you tried this, and Princeton did it actually with success. Was hired a personal trainer through Copilot,
Yes.
and so it's a real live person. Who is a personal trainer. They all, to be part of that program, you have to have like a bachelor's degree or more.
Okay.
And so they're pretty qualified.
Yeah.
And rather than it being like an app or something, or like an online program or like a physical gym that you have to go to, it's kind of the best of many worlds because it's a real person holding you accountable, programming for you, but you can do it from home or wherever. So by this stage of life, knowing myself, having been a personal trainer, but also knowing just what fits into my life right now, I knew that I can walk 30 minutes, 4 days a week.
Yep.
And then I can add in a few healthful foods. Like I'm not gonna just like quit sugar, quit all the things right now. Like I just know I don't have the
Bandwidth?
discipline.
Emotional energy?
Bandwidth is always the go-to word. Yeah. Well, I mean, bandwidth is kind of it, but discipline.
It takes emotional energy,
And
right?
emotional
so if you're
energy.
getting up in the middle of the night, like you're
Yeah.
using a lot of your bandwidth to care for a newborn still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I knew that I'm not going to be able to keep up with anything too rigorous. So I just kind of laid that out. Her name is Rachel, and I laid that out for Rachel, and she's like, you know what, Dana, I think this sounds really good. And I was like, but if you have better ideas, like and she's like, nope. So we're gonna add in a few healthful foods. We made some specific goals around that.
Okay.
Walk 4 times a week.
Good.
And so we kind of talked about when's the best timing.
Yep.
And just right now, even though it's a little chilly in Minnesota, it is beautiful. And so the goal is to walk outside, get the benefits of the fresh air, the vitamin D, stress relief. It's just kind of all holistic.
Okay.
I think you actually had a good experience.
Yeah, no, I used it for the first like 3 months of last year, like January, February, March, where I'm like inside walking on a treadmill and there's just like nothing motivating you.
Yeah.
And so the accountability was huge. But as soon as it got nice enough where I can be outside, I will walk outside every single day just because that's like my mental health thing.
Exactly.
And I just really enjoy it, and it's a habit for me now.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this will kind of flex with me, like as I get back into shape a little more. We could add in a couple dumbbells, kettlebell,
Body weight exercises.
planks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rachel's she said that sounds great. She's gonna roll with me on that. So she can roll with me, as I get, a little stronger, a little back into shape, a little more bandwidth or discipline. If you want to try it out, they do give you like in the app a free month that you can share with others.
Oh, okay.
So I'll put that link below. I feel like a month is actually a really good amount of time to try out a fitness program and know if it's going to work for you. So free month.
And when we used to be personal trainers, we would a lot of times say, don't necessarily try to like lose weight during the holidays, but try to hold even, or try to get like one new habit like walking in place. Like don't join a gym right now, or start like a whole new eating regimen.
I forgot that it was the holidays.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I knew it was the holidays, but like that's going to be like kind of a tricky time.
But it's very good for our mental health. And if we could just go into the new year then saying like, I'm walking 4 times a week for a half hour. How much easier is that going to make January for you then when you do want to then maybe add in some kettlebells or that kind of thing? So I just think for our own personal mental health, like getting some movement in is huge, especially during a stressful season. So it might be a good time. And then if you like the free month, you could ask for that for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like for another month or
that's
two.
a good one. Well, and I knew I needed accountability. That was the main thing that I was looking for. I was like, I just need someone to check in. So even like yesterday, I was like running out of time. And finally I only had like 30 minutes left. And I was like, nope, we're doing it.
Rachel's counting on me.
Exactly.
Like, she knows. She'll see if I check in or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she popped in and said, great job, Diana.
I did appreciate like the encouragement, like, oh wow, you have a 2-day streak, like let's make it 3, like that. And I'm like, let's make it 3. You know? So
it doesn't matter if it's Thanksgiving. Let's make it. But this is what I always love about kind of getting back into these routines. Don't you find that once you start making that a priority, then you do make better like eating choices? You do try to get to bed a little earlier to kind of support, because you're like, yeah, look at me. Like you start to kind of think of yourself as more of a healthy person again.
It's true.
Yeah. So, so I'll let you know how it goes. But if you want to try it out, I mean, they give us these links.
Yeah.
So you could do that. So.
Okay.
Lastly, I guess sort of related to that, did you see my most recent video on why you need to go back to a paper Bible from your app?
That was fascinating.
So this also, as I've been kind of addressing my health, is something I've been thinking a lot about, because one of the things that I mentioned in that video was every time you switch contexts, your brain actually uses nutrients in order to like support that change of gears in your brain.
Wow.
And so we're kind of, as a people, we're evolving our brains to go from one task, deep thinking, solid work, to like multiple things at once, because that's how we live our lives with devices now. Yeah. However, the cost of it is, that's why a lot of us feel tired and brain foggy by the end of the day. But also, again, as we're talking about addressing like health changes, eating changes and stuff like that, it also causes a rise in our cortisol when we're on devices in general, but when we're changing gears a lot, and that causes us to crave like the sweets and the sugars, because our body and our brain is looking for that quick energy source. Yeah. And so as I've been kind of like monitoring this, like how much I'm switching gears and what I'm doing on my phone and everything, I was like, oh goodness, I am switching gears every 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, no wonder my brain is a little foggy, and I'm, looking for the candy jar by the end of the day. So I don't know, I always feel reticent to like tell people to do the harder thing. I don't know, maybe our life as personal trainers, like, okay, how can we make this doable? Even with life as a pastor, like, how can I really help people do this? And it's like, get the Bible app on your phone and get the reading plan on your phone, and and it'll give you a reminder. And we want to just kind of like program everything in. And so it kind of feels weird to be like, we actually have to just go back to the old-fashioned way of reading a Bible, writing in a journal, and because the other really interesting piece, and maybe you remember this from school and reading, remember we all had paper textbooks, okay?
Right.
When you would read in a real book, your brain is actually making a map of the information.
Wow.
It's almost like walking down a path. You know how you kind of can remember where you were and the feel of it and everything? But when we read on a digital device, our brain doesn't know where we are. Like, it's just getting that information on the page. It's as if you're looking at a Maps app and you can only zoom in and look at the house, but you can't pull back out and look at the neighborhood. Yeah. And so by having the paper Bible, it's actually really helping our retention. And it's also helping our focus, because when we're on our devices, we're just used to multitasking, bopping around, answering notifications. And so somehow in the new year, I want to help us. I'm like mulling this over, like, how can I help us all get back to like loving, and making room for and time for? I think that's the biggest thing, right? A paper Bible and having that physical experience again.
You might want to look into Matt Diabella. He'll talk about, he has a rule where it's like you can't miss 2 days in a row. Oh. And so that could be a good thing if we like kind of do habit tracking and say, okay, you just can't miss 2 days in a row. So for 30 days, we're just going to make a goal that you don't miss 2 days in a row.
Well, maybe if I can put that together with our co-pilot trainers.
Oh, man.
If I could be like, Rachel, I need you to put a habit, because there's habit trackers in there for you.
Oh, can you add a Bible
reading? She probably would.
Well, I did used to, because, it was last January when I started. That's when they kick off the new season, Read Through the Bible in a year with the Bible recap. And so I would listen to it while I was on the treadmill, and then But I was doing it all on my phone because then I would listen to the Bible passages
Yeah.
on the treadmill
But
too.
if you're
So
walking, I think I'm okay with that.
thank you.
But
Okay.
I think the best solution would be go for a little walk, give your brain a little time, no device on it just has to file things away.
Yep.
Okay. Then the last 12 minutes, listen to the Bible recap. Okay. Come home, make your coffee, and then go to your Bible, read the passage that you just listened about, journal a few thoughts, pray.
I'm
Okay,
glad
that's-
you're hearing it too.
Well, we'll just keep working this out.
I think that's lovely. I think that would be awesome. And so but we just pick for whatever season we're in. Like,
Yeah.
what part of that can I do?
Well,
So.
and I'll end with this because next Saturday I'm going to talk about a prayer method. It's called The Hour That Changes the World. And the author of it, what really sunk in with him and what caused him to develop, it's kind of a regimented way of praying, but it's really cool and I'm excited to share it with you. But Jesus in the garden with his disciples, they fell asleep while he is like in like the final hours of his life and he is in total anguish. And he was like, you couldn't even pray with me for 1 hour. And so it's a really sobering thought of like, wow, my life is so busy that I can't take a little bit of time to pray or, I have to like listen to my Bible while I'm brushing my teeth, and so sometimes again, like that's all we can do and good, but then some of us are in a place of life where it's like, okay, I could do better. So we're going to support each other and hang out together and we'll just do lots of great Christmas content too.
Yeah.
So Father, I just thank you that you're with us and you know the season that we're in. You know the amazing tools that are at our disposal, but Lord, you also know the physical needs of our heart and ultimately what it takes to connect with you, to grow in you, and to become more like you each and every day. So Father, I ask for grace, I ask for focus, I ask for discipline, that each one of us would grow in our relationship with you. We would grow in our spiritual disciplines, and we would even become physically healthier in the process. So I bless each one of us now in Jesus' name. Amen.